So today I'm finishing off the last of the lighting on the patch that we are pushing out for Don't Fall in the Hole in the next couple of weeks. So here I have the dice, or the dicer as we call it in the store. And right now it's got no lighting whatsoever, so it's kind of just, you just see the vertex lit. So I actually already have the lights saved here. And so this is what it looks like when lit. Unfortunately, that means that we have a, of course, far too demanding level for good performance on mobile. We need to update you. Anyways, so what we're going to do here is create a couple light maps. I've already got all my worlds set up here for static. So what I'm just going to do is take a look at the resolutions here for the light maps and just make sure everything is still good. This looks a little low. I'll just change that up a bit. Yeah, it's a little better. Alright, so the resolution is fairly low because I want to fit it all on one texture. But that looks pretty good on everything. So what I need to do now actually is just lay down my light probes. So I'm going to create an empty game object here. Just throw out 000 for the OCD. Just gonna call this light probes. And nope. Group, and I'm just going to start laying up my light probes in the area. So most of this game takes place on 2D planes, so I don't really need that big of an area. But I'm going to go all the way into the corner, just make sure that that is not anywhere close to where I want it to be. Alright, perfect. And so I'm just going to create a small grid here. That one on the corner, that's probably pretty good. Light mapping on this one is pretty simple. Oops. Drag my base grid right across the bottom. And I'm gonna grab just a few of these, dip into different axis. And just make sure that we've got a good volume here for the light probes. Now, we don't really have that much lighting, so I'm not being too picky about how many I use, even if it is for mobile. And that looks pretty good to me. Alright, so go to our light mapping tab, flick that up there. And send it off to bake since it is pretty small, there are not many lights. And the resolution is pretty low, this shouldn't take very long. Just going here. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Alright, so that took about 23 seconds, so not exactly a long time. And we're done. Now I should be able to turn off my lights. And we still have it looking like there is lights. Again, game analytics away, you know. And we'll go there. As you can see, the light probes are working fine. Darken some of those corners. But I'm moderately happy with that. So, to clean this up, I am going to take my static objects and I'm going to create a new Mesh Baker. This is using the Mesh Baker add-on, Mesh Baker 2. Just to combine some elements here and take this a little bit even further optimized. So I'm going to drag these these into here. I know they're all the same material. Just create an object for that. Bake those in. So I basically do this as a last minute optimization. It's not entirely necessary since our levels are very simple, except it does help when things get a little bit hairy to have the spare draw calls. So I'm going to make the mesh, but I'm going to preserve the current light mapping, hit bake, and now I have one mesh that represents all those, 7, 8 meshes I had before. Label that so I know what it is. And then I'm going to turn off the old meshes. Whoa! Something went horribly wrong there. Well, I'm going to have to fix that. So let's clear that. Turn that back on. What happened there? Substitution on the same material. Isn't that the nature of game development? This is the 6th map I've done, and every other one went perfectly fine. So let's try that again, and just quickly test that. Okay, so for whatever reason that worked fine this time. So mesh maker static, and we're pretty good. Let's see, we made a big difference. A little bit, not huge. But in mobile, every little bit counts. So yeah, so that level is about done. The only thing left to do is just to go make sure to turn off these diffuse textures that I was using to preview the lighting and change them to mobile, just to save on the performance end of things. And that's fine. And that's about it. Not very exciting, but this level is done. And that's everything.